Hello paddlers, welcome back to my channel. Well, for the last 10 days it's done help but chuck it down, and we have had some major wind. I mean, we are talking major wind. So I haven't been out. So I just thought I'd take the opportunity to answer a few questions I've had. And one question, I'm still not sure I'm going to answer it, or if I'm going to answer it. I was asked to comment on somebody else's channel. Well, that's wrong. Somebody else is no more than just a cleaner. Nice guy, good videos. And he'd made a video, I watched it actually, he'd made a video where he went to sea with his mate, went out in a kayak to sea, in the sea with his mate. And I've had a message, and I won't mention who it's from, because I'm trying not to upset people. And he asked me to comment on that particular video, if I think it was good, bad, safe, unsafe, this and that. Well, I'll come back to that later, because yeah, I don't really like doing things like that, but I'll come back to that later. So yeah, questions. It's funny, this first question was when I was last out actually. I'd stopped for a bit, and a guy walking his dog, he said to us, he says, I've been thinking about getting into kayaking, right? Which kayak should I buy? But I don't want an inflatable. Now, he had done a little bit of research himself. He said he didn't want a sit on top one. So that's something you have to think about. If you're in that sort of like frame of mind where you've never been kayaking before, you have to figure out which type of kayak, which basically means what you're planning on doing with it. You get me? Are you just after a kayak for going down the river? Or are you interested in going down the river and the sea? Are you interested in touring, as in maybe going camping, whitewater rafting? There are lots of little questions, and the only way you can figure them out is really by going on YouTube, watching whitewater rafting, watching sea kayaking videos, watching this one, and then make a decision in your head. And it is important, because let's say you think to yourself, right, I'm brand new, but I'm really interested in whitewater rafting, and that's what I want to aim for. I want to learn how to whitewater raft, but I'm brand new. Now you've got two options there. You either buy two kayaks or you buy one kayak. Why? Because you're not going to really start off on whitewater rafting. You're going to start off in a river. So you might go out and just buy a nice little recreational kayak. Right? Some recreational kayaks you can also use in whitewater. Right? But if your goal is just whitewater, you're better off buying a whitewater kayak and starting on a river, because you can use it on a river, you know what I mean? Right? And then build up, get used to it, and then go take lessons before going whitewater rafting. But there's that way. And if you're interested in touring kayaks, right, then you have to, it's one of them you see, there's hundreds, there really is. It's one of them horrible questions, right? Which one should I buy? Because there's some really crap stuff out there, but there's hundreds of good kayaks covering every range, whether it be whitewater, river, kayak fishing, sea kayaking, touring. There's just such a lot, and it's almost an impossible. You'll see loads of YouTube videos saying, I recommend this kayak, I recommend that kayak, and they're all quite good kayaks, and you won't know, you know what I mean, until you've tried it. Now, a lot of shops, here's your first bit of advice, go to your nearest kayak shop, sit in one, right, talk to the guy at the shop, say, look, I just want to go paddling down the river. Right, that's all I want to do. I'm not interested in anything else. And he'll show you, or she will show you, and you'll be able to sit in it, see if it's comfortable or not. Because, like, my kayak might not be comfortable for you, and your kayak might not be comfortable for him, and his, you know what I mean? If you can, you want to be sitting in and trying it out, but it's a minefield of which one. So you have to you have to find out first of all yourself, what do you want to do? Right? And he didn't, I'll deal with him because he did not want inflatable. Right? So I'm not going to cover inflatables. Right? So what do you want to do? That's the first thing. Right? Once you've decided that, right? If you've never been kayaking before spending a penny, go to some sort of, you see, there's lakes where you can just hire a kayak, and lots where you can hire a kayak. Like if you live in Scotland, you'll know there's loads of places where you can just hire a kayak. But there's like little lakes about. Just go on Google, search kayak hire. You know what I mean? And little lakes will pop up, and try it. It's just one of them nightmare of a. I mean, just to try and be helpful. If anyone out there is thinking of buying a particular kayak but they're not sure, let me know, and then I can tell you what I think and I'll research it for you. Right? Because I know a lot of people, they look at a picture and say, that looks nice, I'll buy that. And they don't research it. Well, I like to research everything, and you probably know, if you're a subscriber, you know that. I've mentioned things like that in the past before. So there you go. It's one of them awkward. I spent nearly 20 minutes talking to this guy, trying to, you know what I mean, help him. And at the same time, I don't think I really did, because trying to explain all the ins and outs and it depends, that word comes up a lot. Well, it depends, and it depends on this, it depends on that. It's one of them weird things. Okay. Right. I'll cover the elephant in the room as soon as I started with it. Right. Karl, I'm not more than just a cleaner. Now, first of all, I'm a subscriber to him. I like his channel. But I was asked, he did a video last week where he went in the sea with his mate. And I was asked, what do I think, basically? I think, you see, I made a video, right, a couple or so weeks ago about sea kayaking, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, right? And I think the person that's sent me the email asking the question has seen my video and kinda saying, well, you said this and that, and he did it different. What do you think? Well, I'm not gonna play that game. Alright, like I said, more than just a cleaner. I'm useless for names. Karl. Alright, I'm a subscriber. I like his channel. Alright, I like him. He's a complete nutter. If you're not a subscriber, he's a nutter. Should see him with his kayak, right, and he's riding his bike, crazy man. And if he's watching, he'll agree. He'll be going, yeah, you're right, you're right. You should see his tattoo on his back. He's got one of them barcodes, like a label, this way up or something. Crazy man, crazy man. But the thing is, if I say about that particular video, yeah, this was right, this was right, this was right, that was wrong, I'm going to get slaughtered. There's always going to be somebody who says, well, who are you, and this and that, and you shouldn't be there, and so I'm not falling into that trap. I'm not. So the guy who sent me the email, and you know you are, I could say your name, but I'm not playing that game either. I'm not gonna thingy, because it went both ways. If I say, oh no, you did everything right, somebody then would say, well, you said in your video, and that's different to it. So I'm not playing the game. So I don't mind commenting on other people's videos, but I'm not gonna say good things or bad things, if that makes any sense. You get me? It's like Patrik here on the water. I often say, great channel, great guy, great paddles, this and that, and stuff, and all like that. But I'm not going to say to you, something like, I don't know. I'm just making this up, by the way, Patrick. This is just off the top of my head. I'm making it up. It's not true. I'm not going to say something like the way he holds his paddle is wrong, right? Or I'm not going to say you must go out and buy that torch that he wears. No other torch will work. You get me? I'm not going to pick on people, or in that sense, it's wrong, and it's wrong to ask. Right? And if I was that sort of person to do that, right, I would say, yeah, Joe Blogs, he did this, he did that wrong, he did this wrong, he did that wrong, everything was wrong and all like this. Right? Oh, and by the way, the person that sent me the email, here's his email, here's his address, blame him. You know what I mean? So, I don't do that. Some people do things right, some people do things wrong, and some people do things different. It's up to you personally to decide which. I am not going to be playing that game. So please don't send me any more emails saying, can you tell us if he did this right or wrong? Okay. Now, if you phrase it correctly, as in, I watched a video, here's a link, this guy's using this paddle, he says it's the best in the world, can you tell me if that's true or false? That's different. That I will answer. I'll go check it, I'll see the paddle, and I'll say, no, that's not the best paddle in the world. Or, yes, that is the best paddle in the world. That's different. That's not asking me to be nasty. That's just asking me a question. Anyway, right, so that's that bit covered. Right, so I don't like things like that. Don't like causing trouble. Right. Anyway, moving on. Now I am going to cause trouble. Right, I'm going to change camera angles as well. Question I was asked. Right, now this was about 3 weeks ago actually, and I'm really sorry I didn't get back to you. Right, the drip ring on your paddle. Right. Oh, this is funny because more than just the cleaner. Right, he's going to say, you're picking on me again. You just said you weren't going to pick on me. No offence, mate. No, I was asked, what is the drip ring for on a paddle? Well, actually, one phrase like that. The rubber piece of thing that's stuck near the blade of the paddle that slides, what's that for? Right. Well, I'll change positions, get my paddle and show you. But a lot of it is one of my pet hates actually when I watch videos, and even when I see people on the water and they've got it in the wrong place, and I say, but I don't say no. Not for me to say. But I was asked what it's for and how to use it. Alright, so that's different, so I'm going to tell you. Alright, so let's swap places and I'll show you my paddle. Alright. This should be fun. Okay then. Right, the bit of plastic on the end, the drip ring, right, this thing that moves up and down. It's called a drip ring for that very reason. When you take a paddle stroke and you lift your paddle up to take your next stroke, any water that runs down your paddle catches on there and drips straight off. If it wasn't there, it'd run down your paddle onto your arm, run down your arm and into your clothes, so that's why it's there. Right, that's what a drip ring is for, basically. It should never be submerged. Alright, never. It never wants to be right up to the end of the blade. Alright, it should be, this isn't an exact science, right? But say about stretched fingers or a fist and a half, whichever way you want to look at it, you get me, from the actual blade, alright? Because the ring does not want to be submerged ever. Now, that's what it's for, that's what it does. However, if you, well, I can't call it a lazy, well, I suppose it is a lazy paddle, I do it, you know what I mean, sometimes. That's if you're paddling, shall we say, in the more conventional manner, as you're lifting your paddle up, you get me, in the more conventional manner, the water hits the drip ring and it drips off. Right? Now, if you're paddling in a more lazier way, which we all do, I do sometimes, when you just having one there and you're just paddling like that, then the drip ring don't matter. Right? If you're whitewater rafting or if you sea kayaking, take your drip ring off, it's just extra weight, it's pointless. Water's going to be going everywhere anyhow, so that don't matter. Right? Because in whitewater, water's going everywhere. In the sea, water's going to be splashing up, so that doesn't matter anyway. But the drip ring is designed so that as you paddle, water runs down, hits the drip ring and it drips off rather than the water running down your arms. Now, sorry Karl, more than just a cleaner. It works for him, alright, and it might work for others, I don't know. Alright, what he's done is he's got his right at the end, alright, but he's got like a piece of foam round. Alright, now I'm not saying that's the right way, but I'm not saying it's the wrong way, I'm saying that's his way. Alright, no wrong with that. He's got a piece of foam going round the end so that if it goes in the water, right, the foam absorbs the water so it doesn't run down the paddle. Personally, just me personally, I think that would increase weight of the paddle, but I could be wrong. I don't know, I could be wrong. Alright, but and I've seen a lot of people though with this. Either have it right up there and thinking it's to remind you where you put your hand, which it's not, and then all the way down at the bottom, and they're only putting, say, that much of the paddle in the water. They're just get your drip ring up and away, not too far, but get your drip ring up and away from your blade. Right, so when you do take a paddle stroke and you lift your paddle up, any water, let's say your paddle will be up there, any water that runs down your paddle hits your drip ring and drips straight off. So if your arm's about there, let's say your hand's about there for argument's sake, without it, it'll run straight down onto your hand, down your arm and down your clothing. Right. I think I've mentioned this in another video, and the more I'm speaking, I'm thinking I'm sure I've mentioned this in another video, but I can't remember. But no, that's what the drip ring's for. And I just thought I'd mention Karl, seeing as we was on about not picking on people, right? And you know that channel thing I was just on about. But yeah, so I thought it'd be funny to mention what he's doing. Let's say he's just got a piece of foam or something or other. But yeah, if you're whitewatering, you don't need one. If you sea kayaking, you don't need one. Alright? In fact, most decent sea kayak paddles, right, won't even come with one. You get me? But yeah, that's all it's for. Anyway, that's all it's for. Keep it away from the blade. Never submerge it fully. Alright, make sure you can submerge your blade fully. Alright. But like I say, if you're a relaxing, lazy paddle, and there's nothing wrong with that. Right? I'm not saying you're doing out wrong, because I just said I do that sometimes. Where you just have a nice, relaxing, lazy day. That's all you're doing. You're just enjoying the day. You're not battling the wind or out. You just have a nice. Then it doesn't really matter where your drip ring is, because you're never going to lift your paddle up for water to run down anyhow. So it doesn't really matter. You're just splattering along and relaxing. So it doesn't really matter. But it's there for the situation when you're actually paddling and getting some speed going and the water's running, and that's what the drip ring's for anyhow. Well, I was asked, so there you go. Right, so that's what I was asked about. Okay then, moving on. There you go then. Drip ring. Now you know. If you don't know why I'm laughing, like I said that more than just a cleaner, he does something completely different with his drip ring. And seeing as I was asked about his video, and I have in a way, because if he watches this, like he'll say, "Oh, pick up, mate," because he does it different. Well, it's each to their own, you know what I mean? It's each to their own. But I was asked what it's for, right? So I've explained what it's really for. Okay, moving on, and this is from a video I made a few weeks ago, and it was pointed out to me, and I went back and watched it. In my video, I turn around and say, I spent a long time trying to get comfy in my kayak seat, and I tried different ways and stuff, and then I said, when I pull up for a coffee, I'll tell you the perfect solution I come up with, and I'm 100% comfortable and I could sit there forever, right? And then I never mentioned it anymore in the video, but yet I got a comment from a new subscriber basically saying, you never mentioned about the seat. So I says to him, I says, the next video I make, I'll make sure I mention it. Alright, so the bottom line is I tried lots. I tried a few different things. I got a piece of padding I put on the back of the seat, stuck that on with double-sided tape. That worked for a bit, didn't work very well. If it got wet it came off. I got a gel cushion from a seat. It was fine, but then it got wet and it this, and in the end I even bought, I'm sitting on it now, hold on, wait there, look, bought one of these. Oh, now I'm uncomfy. Right, this gel seat cushion here for my kayak, I thought, oh, easy to transport, easy to carry, opens up, it's quite padded. I won't take it out of the kitty zip, but it's one of them gel seat things. But unfortunately, it was so long, right? There was about this much here, right, sticking out and just resting on the floor. So when water came in, this would get drenched. So this was pointless. So hence it's just on the outside seat now, and it's really comfy. It's such a shame. It's got a big gap for your spine and everything, a big area for your buttocks. Right, I will leave link in the description, right, to these cushions that I'm talking about, because they're all good. Right, this is great. Right, different type of kayak, it'd be perfect. Oh, that's better. That's better. Right, yeah. So I ended up. I'll show you. I'll pause. Hang on. And I'm back. I've had to change camera angles. What I bought was one of these. Right. Like I said, I'll leave links in the descriptions and stuff. Now, this is like memory foam that runs around the sides, and it's gel in the middle. I'm not going to take it all out, just take my word for it. It's like a blue gel, cooling gel in the middle, right, and memory foam that runs around the sides. Now this was great, right? But if you know, one of my videos not that long ago, when kayak tipped, I went for a swim. Right, this got soaked in, took nearly 4 or 5 days to dry out. It was a nightmare. Right? So what I did was I took it all out once it was dry, right, and I wrapped it in like a cling film. Right, wrapped the inside, every single inch, and also, if you notice here, this is big, right? It was big and it was too big for my kayak, so I cut a chunk off, and now it fits my seat perfect. There's no wrong with that, there's no special to tell you about that, but I also did that, right? Cut a piece off. But now this I use on my seat, right? Goes that way, your spine sits in there, your bum hangs over there, your legs I should say there, and this is this is the comfiest chair. As soon as I set, this is real, I mean it's quite thick, as you can see, it's memory foam. But if you get one, take it straight out of the cover, right, and wrap it in any type of plasticky, like I said, cling film, anything, right? Stick it in a bloody bin bag and fasten up the bin bag and tie it, and just to keep it, if it does go in, it keeps dry. You don't have to worry about this. This sheet comes off and this dries quick. It's the inside, the memory foam. I'll just show you a little bit. You'll see it. It's the memory foam stuff, but I've wrapped it all up now and everything. Right, and I don't know if you'll see there, that's the blue bit inside the gel. Right, but yeah, it took four days, maybe longer, I can't remember now. but it took a long time to dry, and that's why now if it got wet again it'd be fine. But yeah, so I got this and I was so happy, and I thought that's great. But with this particular kayak, the X500, it does have a downside, the back bit. Not for everybody, but a lot of people say the same thing, but you feel it on your back. After a while, your back starts to ache. Now, I put a bit of padding on the back, but as I said, that didn't really last. It got wet and then that was it. So, what I ended up doing was buying another gel seat. And this is just completely, where's the zip? It's just one of them. Doesn't have to even be in the cushion, because if it got wet, it's just one of them honeycomb. I mean, you don't have to have it in this cover, right? Because if it gets wet, it don't matter. It's just honeycomb, and you know what I mean. I just left it in. You know what I mean? Right, not important, but just another gel cushion. And I think if I can find a photograph, I'll put it up. Right, what I do is I have this on the seat in my boat, and I have that just resting there, and just literally flopped over the back of my kayak. Right, just like that. And I'll tell you what, with my back on there, and my ass, my bum on there, sorry, my bum on there, and my back on there, I am 100% comfortable. Right, absolutely comfortable. It's paradise. Your back, it's perfect. It is absolutely perfect. Right, whether that setup will work on a different kayak, depending on the seat, depending on this, I don't know. Right, but I'll tell you one thing: if you've got the X500, do what I've done. Get both of them. Right, forget this blue one I'm sat on, this folded up one. Forget that. Get both of them, and on the. That's my phone. Where was I? The bloody phone. You know the annoying bit, as soon as I got to it, hello, 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 nothing. And then I hit click. So I thought, buggers. You flipping buggers. Anyway, yeah. Highly recommend my system. Alright, we're both. Alright, you in your X500, guaranteed you will be extremely comfy. But like I said, in the seat, I just cut a little piece off. It's not a necessity. Alright, it still fits. Alright, but it just stuck over a bit. In fact, at one point, you see, that would be where your legs come out, and it was stuck around. It sticks out about so much, and I actually wedged a water bottle under there. Alright. And one, it kept it up from touching the floor, right? The deck, the hull, right? And also kept the bottle cold because it was closer to the water. But you know what I mean? It just narrows your cockpit a bit for getting in and out, and that's why I cut the ends off. So I've got the full range of the cockpit for getting in and out, because there a couple of times when I was getting in, my heel did touch the back of the chair. So I just cut a little piece off, about so much. But yeah, them two systems, and with that on the back, right, extremely comfortable. Very comfortable. So I'll leave a link in the description to them two, and this blue one, because depending on what type of kayak, you might have a wider one or whatever. Because this is a really comfy chair, comfortable cushion anyway. So if you're after one for your office chair or whatever, get this blue one. Okay then, paddlers, I'm going to leave it there, and I've been as diplomatic as I can at certain points in this video. So I hope I haven't offended anyone. I'm sure I haven't. In fact, I'm sure Karl will have a good laugh. But yeah, I'm just going to say it again, please don't send me any emails asking me to criticise other channels, because that's not my game, and I don't do that. Alright, people will do whatever they want to do. Alright, there's, I suppose, these right ways and wrong ways of doing things, obviously. However, if you're happy doing what you're doing, who the hell am I to say you're doing it wrong? Right? So get out and paddle, get out and enjoy yourself, right? And don't be horrible. Whoever sent me that email, pack it in, right? Because this is the last mention. I only mentioned it this one time just so I could say don't do it again. If you send me any more emails asking me to criticise somebody else, right, I'll just block your email, and you just won't. Well, I'm not going to make another video like this, let's put it that way. It just won't get a mention at all. Alright, but like I said, if it's a legit question, like that person said you have to buy this particular, I don't know, life jacket because it's the best, alright, then I'll say, well, no, actually he's wrong, it's not the best, that's the best, alright, or yeah, it's a really good one, right? So if it's not the best, but it's the really good one, so if you want it done, you see, that's different, that's a different thing, alright? Anyway, paddlers, I'm going to leave it there, and hopefully get out on the water soon. I know it seems strange to you because you keep seeing the sun, no doubt, and you think, oh, a nice day, he's got a t-shirt on, it can't be that bad. Well, we had some major rain this morning, and right now it's very windy, very, very, very windy. I'd say 20 plus mile an hour, and that, for me personally, that's not enjoyable, not for when you're going down the river. Alright, plus forecast is heavy rain again in about the next 3 hours, and when it's heavy it's been torrenting down, absolutely torrenting down. Alright, but hopefully another week we might get some good weather. Alright, well, July's nearly over, so maybe in August. And to all you lucky buggers over in Sweden and areas like that, you know who you are. Stop rubbing it in with all that bloody sunshine in your videos. Okay then, paddlers, hope you like this video. Cheers.